What's up, Hippo lovers? Nearly here with the yearly update on the top 15 AoE2 players in the world. April 2022, and in the past I made it pretty difficult on myself trying to come up with a list, looked at all the tournaments, tried to go through criteria. This time a bit easier on me. I asked top players to give me their top 15 list, and then only did the math and averaged out the seed that the players got. I asked a lot of players, and those are the ones that gave me their list. So a nice diversity, lots of different people, lots of different perspectives. Obviously, some players that some were consistently mentioned in the top 15, some were not consistently mentioned in the top 15, and if you weren't mentioned but made it into the top 15, every time you didn't mention, I gave you seed 16 in the list to somehow get a proper seeding list there. Also, big thing is Hera was in 4 lists and didn't make it in 4 other lists. Then it was tricky. I didn't really know. Maybe it could have been an average of 3. Could have been an average, like if I give him 3, I give him 16. If he didn't make the list, would have been a weird kind of 9 seed, and so I just decided to leave him out if 4 players here agree that he should not have been on there. Which brings us to the ranking itself. Ranked number, or the top 15 list now basically became a top 14 list, just to make it easy on myself and excluding Hera. We have DauT with an average of 15.38 seeding. So basically, he made it sometimes on the list, sometimes didn't make it on the list. Obviously, no one really gave him the high ones. I will give you all the lists of the players later on. DauT, obviously, as you know, qualified for Red Bull, so kind of top 14 in the world there. Won Irish Master Series Golden Cup, which was a big achievement. Quarterfinals in World Rumble and King of the Desert. At least qualification there, so some reasonable results into the top 16. Which brings us to number 13. It is Sitaux. It is a newcomer together with DauT there. And Sitaux, obviously, great performances in team game tournaments. We had really incredible performance in Return of the Clans. Made it into quarterfinals of King of the Desert. Huge breakthrough performance. Winning Warriors Cup. Round of 16 there as well. So, especially the team game performance has been incredible. And top 8 in the biggest tournament after Red Bull. Pretty strong performance. And then we have a shared 11th spot. Nicov and DauT at the same time. Obviously, both of them qualifying for Red Bull 5. Then we have the Great Cup won by DauT. I don't even know what that is. But King of the Desert, top 16 is in there as well. And Aurus League, 2nd place. DauT, probably the player that is valued way higher by players than tournament results are reflecting it. But he's playing so well and so many people giving him lots of credit, especially like in practice games, that he is still considered to be a top 12 player in the world. Nicov, just coming out of his 2nd place against Sitaux in the Deep Waters League. Strong performance there, good run. Also King of the Desert, made it into the round of 12, qualified for Red Bull, won Aurus League 2, so strong performances all around, and obviously also Return of the Clans champion there. Which brings us to number 10, ACCM, stopping by in there as well, qualifying for King of the Desert, relatively deep, round of 16. Considered there, obviously couldn't really play a Red Bull 5, but a lot of people still see him quite high. And lots of cashes in smaller tournaments. He's grinding them. He has lots of deep runs there. I can see lots of like $100 cashes, and certainly considered to be one of the strongest. Really good performances in the earlier Red Bull tournaments. Obviously missed out on Red Bull 5 due to COVID restrictions. Which brings us to MBL. Sick performance. Semi-final in Red Bull 5. But after that, maybe slowed down a bit. Won a show match against ACCM, won other show matches against Miguel. Also Return of the Clans champion, so strong team game performance there. But overall, people don't see him as crazy as he was before. This time only number 9. Which brings us to Villese, number 8 for him. Obviously, team game performance a bit underwhelming there. Losing to the French team with Anotov in Return of the Clans, normally where they shine, but quarterfinal performance in King of the Desert 4, also showing up reasonably strong in Red Bull 5, having good runs in Red Bulls before, winning Warriors, round of 16, and considered to be one of the biggest improvement over the last 2 years. 8th place there, some gave him even better performance. Player that probably made the biggest jump out of all of them is Winchester, having the 2nd place in King of the Desert, obviously. Lots of eyes on him, lots of people thinking he's incredibly strong. Wandering Warriors, the next S tier 1v1 tournament that followed after that one, he made a semi-final appearance as well, only losing to DauT, so crazy stuff there. Also dominating the Russian/Ukrainian scene as well, won the Rus AOC Cup, so pretty good there, dominating there against Classic Pro. Which brings us to a pack of GL members, because JorDan is number 6 here, obviously having the big Hidden Cup performance quite some time ago, but then constantly qualifying for all the big tournaments, was part of Red Bull 5 as well, and we see him some show matches. Thought he had a big other performance that I wanted to mention. Return of the Clans, 2nd place. Master of Socotra got into the semi-final, lost to Mr. Yo. And King of the Desert, 4th place. Exactly, that's what I forgot. So strong performance there, and beat Tato in the quarterfinals, I believe. Then fell to Leary, though, in the 3rd place match. But certainly top 4 on Arabia only, something that's pretty crazy good. Which brings us to Tato, the player that has such a bad run in finishing out sets, as we mentioned. Like, didn't he have like an 0-13 run in S tier or like an A tier, S tier tournaments in deciding games? Finally won Deep Waters League. This voting was done before that one though. And overall, pretty strong performance. Obviously, Red Bull, strong performance there as well. Holy Cup quarterfinal, Red Bull quarterfinal, and I thought he had another one, Wandering Warriors Cup in the semifinal, lost 3-2 against the Viper. Could have been his final, could have been him going through. And Tato played a best of 21 against DauT. Lost that one 11-2, something great for DauT, who also had a quarterfinal performance in Red Bull 5, obviously the major tournament that we have to mention. Semi-final performance in Holy Cup, lost to Leary there, and then beat Chris in his show match as well. Obviously, lots of other show matches going in his favor. Most famously, the one against Tato, considered to be in one of the best shapes that I've seen him in some years. Which brings us to number 3, and a player that I apparently forgot here to put in there. Master of Socotra winner, Mr. Yo, sadly not playing Red Bull. And I think underperforming in King of the Desert as well, but incredibly strong, and even listed as number 1 by one of the players that we will take a look at. And he even averaged at a 3, which he's kind of considered to be the whole time, right? He was always number 4, now counting out Hera, simply jumping up in number 3. Which brings us to Leary, who just won Return of the Clans in a team game. Great performance there. King of the Desert, 3rd place. Falling in the semifinal. Holy Cup lost, and 2nd place in Red Bull Vololo 5, so considered to be the clear number 2 behind the Viper, who is not a clear 1.0 anymore. Someone did not rate him at first spot. Viper obviously dominating, won Red Bull Vololo 5, won Wandering Warriors Cup, won King of the Desert, and just basically the biggest 3 tournaments won by him in the last half year. Also looking pretty hot in Age of Empires 4, so he's really showing why he's considered to be so crazy. Which brings us to the list of all the players themselves. Let's take a look at DauT's list, and let's take a look at what's valuable to mention here. Looks pretty standard. He squeezed in Slam. We have some different appearances from him, but didn't make the top 14 cut there. JorDan pretty high at number 4 by DauT, which brings us to Mr. Yo's list with some interesting mentions. He, for example, had JorDan in there twice. I think he had him at number 6 or at number 5 and number 12 or something, so I put JorDan out. Lux and Vivi, he rated them pretty high, and yeah, That was a wild one for sure. Which brings us to Villese. I think this is pretty much meta and pretty close to what the overall ranking was there in the end. Rating Sitaux in there, also felt that Capwatch deserved a spot in the top 15. And now the, I think, weirdest list of them all. No, that's the one after that. ACCM rating Vinch are pretty high. With number 4 in the world, that's a bit surprising to me, but everything else looks pretty standard as well. I think JorDan's list now, that is a bit of a surprise. Rates Yo as number 1, Viper as number 2. Maybe still feels a bit like he got clapped too hard there in Master of Socotra, that he rated Yo higher. Obviously Viper winning lots of S tier in major tournaments. That a bit surprising to me. Miguel got number 15 in his list. Sitaux as number 10, pretty high rated as well. Nicov's list, also relatively standard, gave Slam some love, gave Big T some love, someone who rarely was on that list, as you can see. But Leary pretty consistently considered to number 2. JorDan only gave him number 4 as well. Big fan of DauT there. And then we have Sitaux's list, who gave some love to Belgium and Capwatch. Sitaux there as number 11. Yo only number 5. That's a bit surprising to me. Vinch is number 3. So Sitaux rating Vinch pretty damn high. And then Vinch list himself gave some love to Classic Pro and Dragonstar in the end there as well. But the standard order at the front. JorDan actually getting number 4 in Vinch's list. Pretty interesting. What do you think? Was there something wrong? Who did we forget? Who should have been mentioned? And what's your list? Where do you think we went wrong? Obviously, I didn't give them any criteria. It might have been team game. It might have been mixed maps. I didn't specify. I just asked them, give me a list of the best players. Maybe some valued team games or 1v1s or mixed maps. A bit higher, a bit differently. That's it from me. Goodbye. Tempo lovers.